Super WGL, $20,000. We're moments away from the game to start. 1-0 already here on the stage in Shanghai. The undead challenger of the back-to-back Gold League champion in Infi. Will we see the race finally? What's it gonna be? Random it is! With a 65% win rate. Gold League summer, Gold League winter. It was his. Can he claim Super WGL as well? 20K on the line. A match that we haven't seen for a year. A match that was the very, very first GCS Gold League Grand Final in 2015, with Infi being the first winner. 1 year later, 1-0 with the second Grand Final, taking his first victory in his third Grand Final. Also, the Team League in summer, the highest paid tournament in Warcraft 3 history. Newbie versus Rogue Warriors. These two met and 1-0 took the victory there in the best of one. H&W Masters Grand Final 1-0s. So in recent encounters, or like in the past 2 years, it felt like 1-0 has the edge. But now the new factor, random against this Necromancer. Remo, how random proof is Undead?
Pretty random proof, honestly. Definitely has a fairly decent time. Oh man. Those vetoes went and gone went fast. Did you see those?
I think AZ is out and Turtle Rock? But I'm not sure.
See, it was so fast. I was trying to talk about the random factor. Yeah, Infi indeed random. Undead usually pretty resistant to that because of two reasons. First, they have a build which works against everything. And secondly, they have a scout which they always use with that build. Ted Fiend opening or the variation Happy build works in every case, and with that you can scout. But if you want to play ghouls or if you want to play Crypt Lord, then things get a little bit more complicated as we move into our match.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, map number 1, Iceman versus Necromancer, and we have an undead mirror to kick things off. And what an advantage this is for Infi. He knows he's in a mirror match. He can go for a Crypt Lord, he can go for rushes, and this man is devious with Crypt Lord and ghoul pushes and 1-0. He doesn't know what's coming. What is he going for? We have seen in Europe, though, that you can defeat Crypt Lords with standard. He needs to scout ASAP and then adjust to what's coming. Concealed Hill, map number 1.
All right, boys, off we go. Yeah, as you said, the Crypt Lord nowadays in Europe, especially in Undead Mirror, has been fading out a little bit again. The forefront runners of that being Happy, who has been playing more standard, sort of, but also being more player-reliant in his decision there. Especially it's X-Lord, who is leading the charge there, trying to convince everyone that the Dreadlord is bad. For a second there, we had a Dreadlord queued, but it's Dreadlord cancelled. Crypt Lord instead.
You're slightly ahead of me, I think. So yeah, Crypt Lord is... Man, imagine he has the balls to go Crypt Lord, Ghoul Rush or something in the middle match. In the mirror match, I feel. That would be unbelievable. Okay, it's DK Standard versus Crypt Lord Rush.
Yeah, and
this can be absolutely crazy, man.
If 1-0 wanted to play that so badly, like as we said, Happy and especially X-Lord have been playing a lot more standard against Crypt Lord in the last few months and looking pretty good with that, especially X-Lord has. The harder the map is to expand on, the better usually DK does, but there's also a lot of intricate things you can do against each other. 1-0, if he wants to play it safe, has to play this build every single game against random. Yeah. But this is not always the preferred option. Nowadays, especially against Night Elf, you want to play, or we see that from some undeads, they prefer to play ghoul builds for better creeping and a more aggressive mid-game and so on. If 1-0 wants to play it 100% safe, he's going to be stuck with that build every time, which could be a disadvantage. He can also gamble. He can also go blindly for a Crypt Lord ghoul build, not having scouted the opponent. If Infi ends up being Night Elf, it would be really bad. Every other case, though, would be fine. We see the first bit of harass coming in with a coil. 1-0 is trying to try to get as many last hits as he can. Oh, that was close, but he gets it. Perfectly used coil.
All right, then Infi trying to play around this, but not perfectly enough. Super hard to do, of course, against the coil with 100 damage. Crypt Lord already very, very hurt. 1-0 with just 1 and 2 hits. Getting the Crypt Lord down to just 1/3. I was about to say before this harass started, 120's best matchup is definitely not the Undead Mirror. He struggled there, even with knowing his opponent is Undead. But now, what a wonderful start this coil, though. Goes into nowhere, goes for the Crypt Lord. And now the DK is catching some hits there as well, but that's not going to be the fastest Crypt Lord game we've ever seen. He's going to be a little careful with his HP so low.
Yeah, especially when we consider how hard this expansion is to creep. There's poison there, there's an overseer, lots of damage. If you bring enough ghouls, you can still certainly creep it, but that might require like 6 ghouls, 7 ghouls, which might take quite some time. There's also going to have some fiends coming in soon. The scout is still alive. We see the first ritual dagger already being used here on the crypt. Well, it's cancelled. He got the first ritual dagger cancelled by a skeleton pair, I believe. And now the fiend is in already when the camp begins. The acolyte wakes it up right away. Pretty stressful for Infi.
Indeed. Man, the necromancer using the skeletons. How fitting is this? And now the Iceman. Can he keep him together? And that's another kill for 120 here. Fiend might get surrounded, but poison everywhere. Infi is getting the surround of the Fiend. Question is, can he kill him? There's so much damage. Coil keeps it alive, and he breaks out of that encirclement. Level 2 for the Crypt Lord now. Finally, Fiend moving itself into a corner, but once again backs off. This is looking pretty good for 120 now, but of course, Infi, throughout his career, he set up 2 billion expansions with all different races. If there's a player in the world who knows how to erect an expansion while being under a lot of pressure, it's definitely the Iceman.
Yeah, I think both doing a good job there. Was really stressful for Infi, but he crept this fairly well, all things considered. 120 missed 1 coil on the first creep camp. I think this was the one mistake by him, but so far both showing up and playing this well. Infi recovered well, goes for the next charge of Ritual Dagger to heal up. But this was certainly not the easiest expansion. It took a Ritual Dagger, which is 125 gold. It was quite the delay, and 120 tier 2 already. Dark Ranger coming already. Important, he got the aura. He keeps the TP. So 120 could try to go for an expansion cancel right now, and could always get out with the TP if he has to.
Really nice. He's stealing the green camp away between the two. Oh no, it's creeping now. Is Infi. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's definitely a European playstyle by 120 here, right? It's X-Lord-esque, it's Happy-esque. That is, of course, to kill some ghouls with Black Arrow and get skeletons from it and then push. Is there a ceiling for this strategy? Is he on a timer now with the second hero choice?
Usually the Dark Ranger does very well for a really long time. If Infi gets up to 70 supply and has zone tier 3, then 120 is going to be in some trouble. But the idea is with the Dark Ranger, you're going to play a very momentum-based mid-game. You have the aura, you have the fiends, you have the focus fire damage, and with the Dark Arrow, you can also get a lot of skeletons early. The intent here is to overpower with better levels, better micro, better focus, and keep killing things off of Infi, while 120 wants to try to lose nothing, utilizing coil and aura at the same time. And that way you can stay on par against a 2-base opponent, while also teching at some point, and then being able to play with a superior army with superior tech. Tech timing for that reason for 120 is going to be very interesting. Same for Infi. Infi, it feels like, has to play this pretty passively, has to delay his tier 2, excuse me, for more fiends early, but he says no. Starts tier 2 right away without a graveyard, without any fiends, trying to do this just with ghouls.
Okay, there is a building in the north. This might be a shop or but I don't think it's a graveyard. But okay, big pressure now. But 2 fiends are already hurt. Mana is there for 2.5 coils. Decay already down to 50% as well. It's not the biggest number of skeletons that we can imagine in Infi. The 500 IQ play again, catching reinforcements, and he just doesn't care if his base is under attack. He goes for the counter pressure, he goes for the interceptions, and he goes for 120's base. Burrow is ready though, so first fiend is saved for now, but you know what? There is just because Infi is just ready for everything.
2 ghouls for 1 fiend, definitely a good trade for Infi with all of his income. Infi setting up, what a cool play by him. He's setting up a flank with his Crypt Lord on one side, the ghouls on the other for perhaps potential great sandwich. And when he sees that doesn't work out, then he's threatening the counterattack. 120 doesn't want to waste his time anymore. He's heading back up north. Infi could have decided to attack the main, but doesn't. He comes back with his forces towards the expansion, which has been surprisingly safe so far. None of these acolytes have died yet, and only 2 ghouls. Looking pretty damn good for Infi so far.
Seriously, like, the amount of pressure with the DK and one Fiend alone was super high, but as I said during that harass, he just knows how to get out of these situations. It's so impressive how Infi seemingly does the right thing every single time. Lots of ghouls now. Fiends slow. This is a Rubian tower in a great position to create some distance. Oh, and he goes for the surround pretty much immediately. Can he break out? Can he break free? Or is it the TP forced? Wait a minute. Dark Ritual on level 3. He doesn't go for the coil. He goes for the extra HP. And that saves him. Impale does hit the Fiends. Not the hero, though. Needs a coil now. Only level 1, of course. 2 Fiends hurt. The statue's doing a good job. Dark Ranger. How many skeletons can she raise? Big question. Infi with another surround on the statue. One of the most important units in 120's army. And this is not looking good for the undead anymore. He has to abandon this push, I think. There's a lot of skeletons now. This was a lot of ghouls. But again, 2 base. Infi is mining. He's just not losing income.
Yeah, 120's losses definitely can be felt. He lost the Fiends. 2 of them. 1 to the kill and 1 to the Dark Ritual. And now he also doesn't have the level 2 coil. In the meantime, Infi's greedy tech works out. He's got the DK coming. Tier 2 finish. 2 Fiends on the way. Really good hold by Infi. Like he does in his expansion play with Human, where he knows exactly how to use footies. Here he shows it with the ghouls right there. With the 2 flanks. Really nicely done. Ooh. Truly a master of multiple races. And now, 120 in a lot of trouble. Would love to have a statue, but he lost it.
Yeah, creep check opportunity now. This was a little greedy by 120 going for the shop right away. He wanted some reinforcements there. I guess maybe an item. But okay, Fiends hold their ground for now, but Infi with 2 base. You see more and more ants joining the fray here, and everything is so hurt. Statue is there now. 120 needs some time, but he doesn't really have that time. DK second for Infi is there, so a little bit of healing for him as well. Are there any last hits for Infi? Definitely are. Man, what an impact already, and he brings the potion of mana.
Yeah, this statue here, the only advantage for 120 so far. Infi's gonna have his own statues coming in soon. The Cryptlord's right-click, by the way, not to be underestimated. Impale coming through, looking for more kills.
Ooh, that was one
I think there was a heal scroll right there to heal everything back up again. The aura is also another big advantage that 120 has. Tries to go for the surround, misses it. Infi's buying more and more time, and he's also harassing here, not allowing the opponent to creep up, and the numbers are rising quickly. For a random player. Last hit.
Impale. Wonderfully done by Infi once again. And the DK's in trouble, in a world of trouble. Goes for the Dark Ritual once again, man. This unusual skill build has proven to be very, very good in this game at least. Infi's dashing out one Impale after the next, and they're all very successful, but they're all very expensive as well. So the potion is gone. 47 versus 58. Infi is taking the supply lead and is getting further and further ahead.
Yeah, with double crypt, he can pump out those Fiends so quickly. Not sure if he started his tier 3 yet, but look at this Fiend count. I think he has like 7 or 8 right now.
Yes.
Lots of damage. A lot of piercing and ability for the DK to level up. Tier 3 started just a little while ago. Infi has the statues coming. He's got the tier 3 coming. He can easily creep his DK super fast right now. If Infi just makes sure he catches up in hero levels, this game is looking wonderful for him.
Okay, so far, all of Infi's game plans worked. He got the expansion early on, he got the level 2 early on, he defended that expansion, he didn't lose anything, he teched in time. So, how can 120 possibly break this now? What's his move now? Because he can't counter-expand, that's too late.
Yeah, normally it's one of 2 options if you play this style. Either you try to all brute force break the expo, for that it seems to be too late, or you try to trade extremely favorably, killing ghouls, fiends, stealing camps, and getting ahead that way, and then counter-expanding at some point when, yeah, you're down in supply, but you're up in hero levels, and you can survive with that one. But Infi just had 2 marvelous of a defensive game here early on. Always, he's so amazing at this kind of playstyle. Fast expansion, and then holding it with very little, and playing it perfectly. We have seen that throughout the years with his human, and now we see it with his undead. And honestly, it's looking really rough for 120. It feels like he has to chase after Infi, can't allow him to creep too much, and then either push or counter expo it has to be. He's going Banshees, he's going the fully fledged out tier 3 undead army, but so is Infi.
Oh, there's a fight. No, it's just illusions. Red spot item, by the way, Hood of Cunning. Just a little bit of extra damage for that Lich. Not too much more in Infi. With the big mana potion, with the Pendant of Energy. Aura levels now equalized, and keep in mind, 120 is on a 1-1-1 build, so on level 4 he goes for level 2 coil, and on level 5 he... I don't really know, level 3 coil or level 2 aura on level 5, but this is not the perfect build for the DK. He's not as strong as he can be, and once again, a little unfortunate with the drops. It's the Boots of Kel'Thuzad, extra damage for the Dark Ranger. I know you love that, Remo, but there's plenty better items here at this spot.
Yeah, I certainly would much prefer to have the auras. Infi, he's playing this so well, man. His defensive play early on to lose as little as possible, managing to quickly get in the tech right there, and then also able to find creeps on the map, which can be really hard to do against this playstyle where usually you're supposed to lose all map control for a very long time. But Infi knew exactly what he had to do, and suddenly he's almost level 3 DK, while a Crypt Lord is 4.4. And Crypt Lord level 5 with Impale 3 in Fiend Mirror can be crazy. We're not quite there yet, but we might get there soon. The one thing Infi is still missing is a Lich and an Orb, but then, once he has it, I think it's time to tango.
Lich is coming, exactly. So, can 120 use this one power spike he seemingly has? We don't see any anti-magic shields at the moment. Haven't seen a Banshee yet. Destroyer is out, but there's not too much to dispel. Not too many skeletons, little bit of damage, okay, but Web is ready, and now there's the Lich. It's just moments that 120 has the tri-hero advantage. Great burrow by Infi, slow on the DK, and man, what an opening statement to just random get the opponent's main race and win the mirror match. That's Infi 2020.
Yeah, no limitations for this guy, for the 4-race king. Really impressive. Infi, in the meantime, keeps the scout. Bottom right, that's the most important thing for him to know. Whether there's going to be a counter expansion, but, well, no, there's not. In fact, there's a creep there still standing. Mana is pretty low on Infi, especially on the DK. But the army is massive. 75 supply against only 59. This might be the point in the game where you can be comfortable pushing into the main base. Fiend upgrades will also be important. We haven't seen those yet.
Ooh,
but I imagine.
Again, little interception, getting free hits on the statue. 120 not in a perfect position. Has to move a little, and the Impale hits pretty much half the army immediately. Still not much anti-magic shield, only on the Banshee themselves. This is a perfect burrow by Infi, of course. Crypt Lord is packing a punch. Crypt Lord is dashing out these Impales, and like 120 has no chance in this fight. Just one Fiend dying after the next. Infi's burrow's almost perfect. This one he got long range coil to keep one Fiend alive, but the other one is out of the fight, and he's already down for like 4 or 5 Fiends. Wasn't the perfect position for Infi either, I think. A couple of Fiends not shooting at the beginning of the fight, but now he forces his opponent back into the TP, and that is more time for his expansion. He will max out his army at 80. And probably get some items as well. We see it. There's the heal scroll still left. I think he consumed the big mana. I'm not too sure. Yes, he did. Lich is also doing quite some damage. 2 invul potions on 120. A heal potion as well. And nothing for survivability on Infi. Is that a chance to come back?
Yeah, it almost feels like it. Normally, when you're far, far behind the game, the way to still be able to win is through hero kill. Is that an option? It's gonna be hard to do with the DK with now more invuls. And then you have the next fight breaking out. DK right away getting Nova, getting threatened. So much piercing damage by Infi. Who's not going Destroyers, by the way. He's not going Banshees. Yeah. Just Fiends.
Didn't we see a temple for him? I'm not too sure. All the Impales are wonderful. But Fiend alive, trades 1 for 1. Now the Lich is level 2, getting more and more mana, of course. Yep, no one is going for Frost Armor, as Happy did a couple of times. They all follow in the X-Lord footsteps. And this is just too much. This 20 supply. The DK is super low as well. Has the potion, might be forced into that potion. 120 is trying everything that he possibly can. But that's too much. Level 5 Crypt Lord. And it's just too many Fiends. It's just too much of everything. Dark Ranger out of position. Way too hard, and she falls. Second hero down. The coil arrived at the Lich. Not 100% sure if that was on purpose, but 2 Fiends down. Infi wins the opening bout in a mirror match. Quite amazing, if you ask me.
Not overjoyed. This just was another day in the office, it seems like, for Infi. That was so well done. It started off a little bit dangerous with the expansion being delayed by so much. I think the mistake there by 1-0 was going back and creeping and not canceling the expansion. If he commits more to the expansion, once the Dark Ranger came out with the 2 Fiends and the DK, he should have been able to get the cancel. At that point, the Crypt Lord wasn't level 3 yet. He could have canceled, maybe TP out if he has to. And then those expansion cancels could have perhaps made the difference. But of course, his choice to creep also resulted in him getting more levels, was also worth something. But I think we should focus here on Infi, who played this so well. This expansion is hard to creep.
Yeah.
His Crypt Lord was low already. Some ghouls went down, but Infi, perfect macro behind his creeping as always. He was able to get the lumber in time, the expo in time, and then the crucial move of the game, splitting up his forces. Crypt Lord and Beetles in one group, ghouls in another, always threatening a run by, threatening a surround, threatening the big collapse, the sandwich, and was able to get the kills, limited 1-0's numbers, and once you start dwindling in Fiends and statue count, then suddenly you don't have what it takes anymore to keep up the pressure. And Infi player playing the expansion, playing the late game as he did so many times before. Very impressive.
I agree. And it's so unpredictable what happens next because Infi is still on random. So it's not like 1-0 can learn a lot from this game and does adjustments on map number 2 or pick a map that he thinks he's favored in Undead Mirror. It could just be anything else. And it's pretty much taking away his option to go for a Crypt Lord in this entire series because it could always be Night Elf. We've seen when Undeads were up against random in Europe and Germany, they gambled sometimes, but then what happens if you're up with a Crypt Lord against Demon Hunter Wisps? That's just death loss right off the bat. So he's pretty much stuck with his DK Fiend, and Infi knows what's coming. He has several advantages thanks to his random position. Even, like, what map do you pick? If you're 1-0 now.
I guess you're going with Comfort here. Or perhaps he's gonna calculate it out. And that's the question here. How is 1-0 gonna handle this match playing against random? Some people like to take risks, some others don't. Especially Juan before stands out to me in recent memory for European players, who always loves to gamble, apparently, and goes Crypt Lord against random regardless, and that sometimes can backfire really hard, as you point out, against Night Elf, a complete disaster. But it's only 25%. Maybe you do want to gamble. Maybe you do want to risk it, because in all other matchups, Crypt Lord is playable, especially depending on the map. Maps like Echo Isles and AZ especially are so good for Crypt Lord. I think on EI and AZ, 1-0 perhaps will gamble, whereas on the other maps, perhaps not. Maybe it's going to be map dependent that way, but yeah, 1-0 still with lots of choices ahead of him. Not that easy of a series, not easy in terms of preparation, not easy in terms of adjustment. And this is one of the advantages Infi has here with his random. He's much easier for him to prepare mentally. Of course, though, to actually be able to do this, you have to be insanely skilled with all races, which Infi is.
Lucky him. We are also very lucky because we have a couple of subs and a dono coming in. Thank you, Astian, for the 11-month resub. Good luck. Have fun. Definitely had that. Also, KMS 3D, 47-month, almost 4 years now. Keep it up. Yeah, keep up the great work. Yanis and Remo, thanks for your passion. And Int21 with a €10 donation. Thanks for bringing us this. Our pleasure, guys. Our pleasure. So again, the picks and bans super fast. I didn't catch them. Did a better job this time?
Yeah, it was Turtle Rock and AZ indeed. Infi vetoed AZ, if I saw that right. I'm not sure about that one. But our next map is Amazonia.
Infi's so tired.
Wait, is Infi switching to human right now?
Oh, it's the WGL rules then. Where you declare your race per map.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay. Baby. Human versus undead Terrana stand. Okay, that changes quite a lot now, because 1-0 knows what's coming for him in each map. Or on each map.
Okay, cool. This was introduced last year, or 2020, I should say, I guess, to the WGL rule set, that you can change your race depending on maps. Now, I think we didn't at all see it in effect in regular WGL. Infi always stuck with random throughout his series, or with straight up human or undead throughout his series, but here he's actually now making use of it. He chooses human, understandably, on this map here, Terranos Stand, the best human map, normally vetoed by undeads, but 1-0 leaves it in the pool, and with that, can certainly expect the Mountain King first, I would imagine. Cass was mentioning it. MK? Is it MK? Yes, it is. Perfect map for Mountain King. Should be a Crypt Lord over on the other side for 1-2-0. Yep, it is as well. 1-0 had a chance to counter against the MK with the Dreadlord, actually. Dreadlord is not seen much in many other matchups, but here against the Mountain King, it can be really good. Getting level 3 fast and then abusing, harassing with Zeppelins, abusing the low mobility of the Mountain King using, what's it called? Carrion Swarm over and over, sometimes even with things like Necro pushes. But here now, it is going to be the Crypt Lord. So it should be fast expansion on both sides. Mountain King can be a very strong hero. His limitation is always he's very level dependent, mana dependent. If you get pressured on other maps and you never get to level 3, it's a complete disaster. It feels super bad. But here on Terranos Stand, Mountain King can always get level 3. You can creep the Merc super easy for instant level 2 items, Mercenaries. You can easily creep the Natural as well and get level 3 there and expand. The reason why Mountain King is the #1 choice here for Orc in almost every matchup, actually.
Dude, the drops.
But the advantage for the Crypt Lord is he can creep his expansion instantly.
The drops for the MK. Big mana potion #2 in the series for Infi. A little bit of HP and damage on top. On the other side, parry up the vitality. Not the greatest for sure. Wait a minute. Okay, I thought for a second that Infi got a last hit. But he didn't, right? That seems rather normal.
Yeah, I think the last hit's all going to the Crypt Lord so far. Mountain King. This is some really good items for him. He's got some bonus damage from the NHP from the gauntlets, and also more mana. Exactly what he wants. Especially mana, what you love to have. Well, the first Shadow Priest goes across the map right away for Dispels instantly. Interesting.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to care too much about, like, healing his MK. Just harassing. The MK will probably staff over later. More HP here already above 1k, and we're not even 4 minutes in the game. That is very powerful indeed. And if you reduce the number of beetles early, that's not too much of a threat then. I like it. So you force the Crypt Lord into using more mana. With that Shadow Priest, and just a little bit of chip damage, you know, annoy a little. Because you don't want the undead to be comfortable. You don't want to sit him on an expansion for too long and creep easy. Force these tiny bits of resource out of him to delay the tech maybe 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. To just get that little bit of an edge.
Did you just use an Impale? I think he must have, right?
Mana's super low, yeah.
Basically no mana left. He's got 60 mana right now.
For
He's
the
gonna
Shadow
get level
Priest?
3. Yeah, I think he used it on Shadow Priest and Footman.
Footman
Okay.
was like very, very deep in, so I think he just killed him off. But yeah, Shadow Priest for sure gone with that. Level 3 MK already, doesn't even need the staff, just walked over, can staff out now. And since there's no mana anymore, this game is working out so well for Infi once again. Clap time, Expo, cancel culture is big. He's losing a couple of footmen here and there, but come on. This is Infi just God tier again.
MK is losing a lot of HP. He's getting surrounded. He is TPing out because there was an Impale. He lost about half HP. He still has plenty of HP left, I suppose. But the first Shadow Priest died earlier. He can't be healed right away. Second Shadow Priest is going to be ready again soon, but a little painful. But of course, also the Expo cancels. Really, really strong.
Yeah, absolutely worth it, if you ask me. And now he got the level 2 clap to work with. So even if 1-0 builds a big army and trying some counter pushes with the staff, Infi is super mobile, can always react to the threats that are coming for him, and just clap the ghouls and beetles, and then they're gone, and then they're no threat anymore. Ring of Protection, this MK is so tanky. He sold the parry up, right? I think he did. And now, counterattack by 1-0. But there's a tower already up. MK is stepping back, and that's the best possible defense. Can he save the second tower? No, looks like it. Is he blocked there? Yes, he is. But this is not a powerful attack for 1-0. It was a little bit of a distraction. Force the staff. Okay, that takes away the offensive potential of the MK for a bit. Wait, is he stuck there?
Yeah, he can't get out.
What?
I can chop down one tree and then maybe he gets out, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe that's a wall to the side. That would be really annoying. But at least the MK doesn't need to do something right now. This Crypt Lord so far doesn't find a big opening. Normally we see a lot of big ghoul floods across the map. Crypt Lord summoning the beetles, really stressful. But the MK with the clap against that, of course, wants to be ready and should be ready. Tier 2 now starting on both sides. Infi is ahead with the tech. He's ahead with the expansion. He's only a little down in experience, maybe, but great game by him, and he even saves that Berserker. Okay, never mind.
Gone now, thanks to the Impale. I think Infi's biggest strength with human against undead has for years been how to use the footman and get some value out of it. He just this year took the next step, I think. He figured out how to tech as quickly as possible on top of a couple of footmen, not an overwhelming mass of footmen. He's just so fast. Finally, the MK can escape, and now the game really starts again. But again, he doesn't even really need the hero. He can just pressure with footmen and mercs, and then the MK staffs onto the rest of Shredder. Oh no! There would be such a big loss right there, but he can't follow it up. Breaks out of the surround. That would have been a big one right here.
Crypt Lord, Stormbolts around wouldn't do too much. I think he has a staff ready, so Infi knows that.
He just staffed in. Oh, it is ready. True.
Still wants that Shredder.
Ooh. Dangerous. He's trying to flank from the left-hand side. I think he's too late for that. Tense battles here. Little skirmishes all over. You need a lot of multitasking for this to work. No Impale anymore, no mana at all. But tier 3 is already on the way and we see a Blood Mage.
MK, Blood Mage, Paladin, always a really strong triple hero combo. Blood Mage can be a little bit vulnerable. But if he survives, if Blood Mage gets level 3, that is one of the best things against Crypt Lord you can have. Crypt Lord extremely mana dependent and will always be in the front line. So this could be working out wonderfully indeed. Amazing game by Infi again. He comes in prepared. His Mountain King working out extremely, extremely well. Mana Potion now used to creep the rest of the camp. He's going to get level 4 over here, which is always a really good feel-good level for the Mountain King. Finally, you have both spells with a strong level up on level 2. He's going to get the item as well, which is Quel'Thala's Boots. Well, that's the worst one he could have found, but he should be still okay. He's had a wonderful game so far.
Mana Potion coming. DK as well, though. So they both have some spell power to work with, and Infi is going Griffin Aviaries. Tier 3. Oh, the MK, though. Thank the Lord for this Zeppelin. Hammer to the Crypt Lord, almost being surrounded. But the Zeppelin proves to be a good choice here. Oh, there's a coil. There's more right clicks. What can he do now? Potion transferred. Is there more mana somehow? Can he swap the mana potion to the DK? No, he's getting surrounded right there. So instead of getting the MK kill, Infi flips the script and kills off the second hero. Massive Impale. Can he go for it though? Super tense situation, but the Zeppelin is the savior once more. And the DK falls. What a wonderful situation for Infi once again. He just seems to be a tiny bit better in every single engagement in this series so far.
Amazing Zeppelin usage. That Zeppelin steal enabled so many things for Infi, and maybe we have to wonder 1-0. Shouldn't he have bought that Zeppelin himself? Could have been helpful for him as well. Perhaps didn't have the resources, but usually he should have it, sitting on 2 bases for so long. In fact, look at the gold for 1-0. Almost 2k gold, in fact, as we're still battling for the creeps. In the late game, it's all going to be about hero levels, and there's still quite a few creep camps left on the map, especially in the bottom left. At the moment, Infi has a very slight experience lead, but not by much.
Yeah, maybe it's also about third bases. As Infi has arrived on tier 3 and is getting his army out, he might be thinking about claiming the upper right. But if he's playing Dragonhawks, then he definitely needs a lot of them. If he builds Griffins, it's going to be very expensive. But for now, he's just comfortably sitting at 50. Sees no reason to break upkeep and start paying taxes. He's just getting the most out of his 2 bases at the moment. And 1-0, does he know about that yet? Griffins are coming, and that is such a powerful combo. Banish, Bolt, right-click attacks. This is scary.
Yeah, and also not affected by Impale. Even if they're webbed, Impale doesn't hit them. Unlike Stomp, for example. So air units, in theory, really good against Cryptlord. Problem with air units is they can suffer greatly against Fiends. But then the MK, again, is supposed to come in with the clap and deal with the Fiends. Infi now having a bit of a tough time finding camps to easily do. He's still waiting for the Griffins. He still only has a handful of footies, whereas 1-0 with statues and Fiends can creep up fairly fast. DK gets level 2, and the Zoe Mask, very good for him. Cryptlord getting closer to 5, and the Lich should be joining in soon as well.
The Paladin is out, so that's the most damage you can have in a Warcraft game, I think. In a solo Warcraft game. With Banish, Bolt, Holy Light, Griffin attacks. Arc of Reincarnation on the Blood Mage, who's getting closer and closer to level 3. We see Abominations.
Ooh, just 1 or 2 can still be decent to apply Disease Cloud, but against Griffins you certainly don't want to go more than that at all. Perhaps 1-0 didn't know before, but now Skeleton Scout, now he certainly knows about the Griffins.
Yeah.
And the response should be going for Banshees. Fiends and Banshees, in general, the strongest thing that Undead has anyways in the late game, pretty much. And against Griffins will be desperately needed. Here we see Infi even being able to steal away the Merc Camp. He's still lacking levels a little bit. If MK gets 5, level 5, and level 3 Blood Mage and level 3 Paladin, then this human army is crazy strong. Infi is not quite there yet.
Infi has a wonderful counter to the Cryptlord, I feel. Like, as you said before, Cryptlord can't hit the air targets. And now that this dangerous tri-hero combo of the human is online and getting better and better levels, you would love to have a Dark Ranger to silence, especially since there's no anti-casters. But with the Cryptlord first, you need DK second, you need Lich third. There's no space for a Dark Ranger, there's no space for silence. So this tri-hero combo can do whatever.
1-0 TP's home, but not to the main. He's going to the expansion.
No, it was a staff fake.
Okay.
But Infi, of course, is not falling for that. Not getting a single kill, if I saw that right. 1-0, holding on to the Haunted Gold Mine. That was important. Can't afford to drop in gold per minute. Stormhammer upgrades coming now. We're almost maxing out these armies. And I still like what Infi has here. He, like, 1-0 needs Banshees, needs a lot of anti-magic shield. But I don't think he's getting there.
Closing in on 80 supply here on both sides. Maybe he's trying to buy time for the Banshees with these run-bys. Just keep attention on run-bys rather than fighting for a while. Because, yeah, Banshees will be needed. Upgrades also would love to know about those. Griffins scale extremely well with upgrades. So do Fiends, though. And here we go.
Oh, massive clap to start this, but not too much damage. Statue's doing a good job. There's also a scroll. Infi going for the hero focus right away on the DK. Lich deleted from this game. No chance to keep the third hero alive, and without the Orb of Corruption and Nova, there's absolutely zero chance to stay in this. And 1-0 just lost 15 supply into one encounter.
We see the upgrades now. Third attack upgrade for the Griffins is coming in. They're going to do even more damage. This fight extremely one-sidedly goes to Infi, and now he can creep the rest of the map. Bottom left, there's still plenty of creeps left, which should be enough for level 5 MK, level 3 Paladin. This strategy is very hard to bring online.
Yeah.
It can easily fall at many parts in the game, but once you're here, 80 supply Griffins with these heroes, it is close to impossible to beat. Even with Banshees, this would be super hard to do. Without Banshees, I don't think this is inside the realm of possibilities.
No. But he can't give Infi too much time because, now it's too late. Because there is a level 5 MK around the corner. We already have the level 2 Siphon up. And the Paladin, like, that shows his confidence. He's going for Devotion Aura. He's not even scared of the nuke of 1-2-0. He doesn't go Divine Shield. He's going for the Aura. Run by with the ghouls, but there's a fight in the bottom left-hand side. Mr. Observer would love to see that. What's happening? Okay, here we go. Fiendfall statue is next on the menu. And just Infi is just getting one kill after the next. Look at the damage, dude! The coil arrives in time, but the DK is about to fall. There's just no healing against this. It's massive, massive damage. The Griffin's all online. DK just escaping last second. But come on, if we're honest here, 1-0 has no chance.
MK staffing up, or is he stuck here again?
Nah.
The Frenzy Ghoul's doing a decent job. They killed some peasants, but they didn't cancel the third base, I don't believe. MK chasing after them. He has got a bit more mana left. Griffins and Mountain King, dude. So much damage. The dwarves bring in the hammers and bring in the pain. 1-0 has felt a lot of pain this game, but finally catches some Griffins without the heroes, but they still do a lot of damage.
With a simple Holy Light, I think it can kill the DK. Going for a little bit of healing. Blood Mage in the middle of everything. Level 2 on the Lich now, finally. MK is at half HP, but he doesn't even care about that. Nice heal scroll to save the Lich one last time, but here's the Holy Light. It's just an execution at this point. A public one. And that's another. Yep, Holy Light. That's the strength of this human new baby. Double kill for Infi. He's turning the Undead's strongest weapon against 1-2-0. That's the nuke. And now everything is falling apart. 2-0 Infi.
Whoa. And yeah, that is the #1 standout example of why Amazonia is such a good human map. If you do manage to get the MK online to this strong of level, have this powerful of an early game as well, and then get the late game, it can be very, very, very strong indeed.
Match
Nothing
points.
seems to be working out for 1-0. Something's not working out at all. Infi with a great performance. I wonder though, the builds by 1-2-0, are they maybe lacking a little bit? First map, I think he didn't go. I don't know if you can call that a build, but he didn't go for the expansion cancel when he could. I think that cost him. Yep. And here on AZ, very surprisingly, he didn't go for the Haunted first. On AZ, it's always going to be Mountain King like creeping level 3 before he comes across. This is never going to change. Did I say AZ? I mean Terran Stand. And on Terran Stand, you have the advantage. You can creep the natural first. Unlike the human, you can creep the natural first. So shouldn't you go for the Haunted there right away? I mean, the lumber is a little bit low, but that Ziggurat still will delay the Haunted even more when you don't need the Ziggurat that early, I think. MK getting the levels early, getting the mana potion, of course, was nice, getting the cancels, and then getting the Griffins late game. Infi just knows exactly what he has to do, and on match point, pretty impressively.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we go into a little more analysis, we have more subs coming in. First of all, thank you Incinerator for the host. Thank you Dakara242 for the 20-month resub. Warcraft in the morning. Good job, guys. Tom Box, 14-month resub. Roscoe with 300 bits and Legend Fan with a €7 donation. What a Sunday! Warcraft 3, Church and Friends. Keep up the good work. Greetings to both of you and the old Fraxter boys. Legend Fan, of course, we remember you. Great people over there at Fraxter back in the day. Yeah, there was also not nearly as much pressure on Infi's expansion as you need to do. Like, Cryptlord shines because of Beetle Cryptlord attacks paired with Ghoul run-bys everywhere. Dive into the base, force resources out of Infi, force some towers, force some repairs, force some peasants, just something to delay his tech, because once human reaches tier 3 and a little bit more, they're competitive, they're super strong, crazy late game for this race, and that just never happened. Infi clicked the town hall, built the expansion, waited a little, boom, tech to tier 2, didn't even wait a split second after it was done, boom, tier 3, built the 2 Griffin areas. He didn't even go for transitional Dragonhawks or anything. He just didn't need anything because the Mountain King was so strong. At that point, he won the battle at the right-hand side. That was crucial for this game. But yeah, 1-0 never threatened Infi, and you pointed it out briefly throughout the cast. Like, this Griffin tech with this Tri-Hero combo is possibly the latest game you can ever go for. And it takes the most time. Yeah. But 1-0 gave him that time.
If something goes on in the early game, in the mid game, you lose momentum, you lose map control, and you lose control of the game, that playstyle is probably not doable at all if you're under pressure, if you're falling behind in levels, if you're playing from behind. But Infi's just not making mistakes, dude. He's not suffering early. He is finding the cancellations across the map, which perhaps was 120's mistake. He's just looking bulletproof right now. And he can still play with different races, as we saw. He's going to make this dependent on maps. We have sort of the weird maps out of the pool now, with Turtle Rock being out and Terranos being out, so we're left with more of the streamlined normal maps, like Northern Isles and Last Refuge, and Echo Isles, which is one of the smallest ones.
Echo Isles it
We're
is.
probably going to see Cryptlord again.
Echo Isles it is. So, Infi, what's your race here? Will we see a Cryptlord mirror? He's going random again on this map. Okay, 1 2
I've
0.
definitely seen him play Night Elf here. Night Elf can be really good, whether you want to be passive with maybe even a Warden or Keeper, or aggressive. But yeah, he's playing random.
Impressive. Okay, Infi, 3 Gold League titles in 1 year. That is unheard of. That is a perfect Chinese season. That was never, ever, ever accomplished by any player in the history of this game. $13,000, of course. Super close. 1 0. You need something very special. It is Orc.
And I think 1 0, this could be his best chance to take a map now and put himself in a better position in this series. Infi's Orc is his weakest race. That doesn't mean it's weak. It's still really good, but it's the weakest of the 4 for him. And 1 0 is incredibly strong against Orc. 1 0, by the way, we see his base build. He is going for a Ghoul opening. Wow. Is he going to risk it? Is he going to go Ghoul Cryptlord against random? Wow. Could be a good idea. This can be very strong on Echo Isles. Against Night Elf, of course, it would be a disaster, but maybe he's willing to roll these dice. Infi going with a War Mill as well, by the way. So Farseer, Headhunters, off we go.
I think the chances for a Fire Lord drastically went up now. Is it the new Orc build with the heavy tier 2 pressure with mass summons against the expansion? Once again, advantage for Infi. He knows what he's going to be playing against on Echo Isles. Cryptlord, very, very, very likely. And 1 0 doesn't even know his opponent's race. He has no idea what he's playing against. Not the race, not the build, not the timings, nothing. This has to work. Otherwise, the pressure is going to be too intense on early tier 2.
Yeah, a lot of this is going to come down to the early game. Infi's Headhunter Micro. How good is it? He's delaying the tech, so we're going to have plenty of Headhunters out already. Once you have 3, 4, 5 Headhunters, then you can focus fire really effectively. But 1 0 is very good with his Ghoul and Beetle usage himself, surrounding, setting up flanks, and so on. This game is going to come down a lot to the early game and how these two players execute it. So let's take a look how it goes. Infi is going south towards the opponent. 1 0 going to the expansion right away. He should be able to get all of the experience here. 1 0 cannot afford to give up any of these last hits.
Tense moment. This is a creep spot for the map. Maybe he can't afford to lose anything. It was close as the wolf comes in, but not happening. So far, damage on ghouls and on skeletons, but nothing too important. Next last hit is going to be the Crypt Lord. It is, I believe. Yeah, just a skeleton to the Farseer, and that one will... Wait. He did get it! Didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a big deal.
Wow. That was so close, though. Last hits by Infi. Wonderful. And he's teching. Okay, that delays level 2 for such a long time.
Yeah, this is really annoying. Of course, 1 0 could go for it at the green camp, at the Murlocs, but if that occurs, of course, Infi is going to try to punish that right away. This last hit makes a big, big difference. Perhaps 1 0 not doing it perfectly, but Infi did it really well, attacking the whole, the creep with all of his units at the same time, with the Farseer and the Wolves to have a chance to get that last hit. And now the Headhunters are going to come in one after the next. How is Infi going to follow this up? How did he like the damage he did so far? Is he going to go all in with the with the Fire Lord? He doesn't have to. He could also go TC, go tier 3, creep the map, and counter expand later on. He has multiple options.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's totally fine with this. Cryptlord, not big damage on him, but also not a single point on damage on the Headhunters, and that's really what you want. 120 is already having trouble dealing with the wolves and keeping them away. Headhunters super safe. Look at the micro. Just Headhunters. Once Cryptlord or anything gets remotely close to the Headhunter, he pulls them back one by one while the others still do damage. And now we see exactly the shop in time for the tier 2 tech. We're going to see the Fire Lord. He's going to bring heal selves, maybe a clarity, maybe speed scroll, maybe potions even. He doesn't have that much gold, but I really like that the shop is probably finishing with the tier 2 timing. So you don't have to go back. That saves a lot of time.
Yeah, Infi can keep up the pressure. And the pressure's absolutely ramping up over here. It's a little stressful for 120. Not bringing many ghouls so far. Oh, 2 of the ghouls super low over here. Oh, might be retreating to the base. 1 ghoul is going down. More experience to this Farseer. But the expansion is finishing.
Fire Lord.
As we see the Fire Lord coming.
Exactly. And he doesn't go for items. That's surprising to me. He was very low on resources, so he rather wants to have the lava spawns in early. It's not that much of a distance between this position and the middle, so he can go back. 1 tower up. Expo starts mining. Acolytes not fully saturating this expansion. It's going to be so tough. Oh, Cryptlord! Where is he? Out of position. Also the ghouls. Man, that's a feast for Farseer Firelord.
This is looking disastrous. We have level 2 Farseer now. We have Chain Lightning, although perhaps not enough mana. Is this it already? This could be the 3-0 for Infi. The Archives are getting taken out. There's no Necro to replace them. And perhaps only 1 Headhunter is going down over here.
What a mastermind Infi is. He's just a brutal killer. He doesn't want to go for 5 map, give some entertainment to the fans here at this award show in this exhibition match. He just asserts dominance on the Chinese scene. The tower is gone, and the Farseer and the Fire Lord, they roam freely again. No chance. No chance. Level 2.
Raise King indeed. Looking so strong. The GG is called. That's it.
First time ever. WGL Summer, WGL Winter, Super WGL all go to 1 player. A perfect year for the Iceman. $12,000 on top of the big wins in Summer and Winter. Infi is the best Warcraft player in Asia, period.
And the thing is, 120 didn't even play bad today, but Infi simply played better. With the strategic edge of playing random twice, of being able to perfectly prepare. And that was just like perfect execution this whole game. Like on Concealed Hill, he maybe took a little bit more damage than he could have. But other than that, dude, this was just stellar play all the way through. Would have loved to see him play Night Elf here as well, which would have been, you know, also could have worked out really well against Cryptlord. But Infi shows it again with how many races he can play. This guy, his level is unbelievable. And he is bringing multi-race play to the next level indeed.
We seriously have to talk about the greatest of all time. Moon, of course, dominating in the 2000s, but what Infi is showing now might just be the best Warcraft that has ever been played by a player.
Yeah, he hasn't been challenged much in these big tournaments lately. If we combine this one with the most recent WGL, he stomped most of his opponents. It seems like the only one who came extremely close was Law Alliance. Their series was extremely hard fought in WGL Winter, and it could have gone either way, but other than that, Infi just seems to be ahead of the curve. Going into 2021 in very, very impressive fashion, Infi boosting up his prize money significantly, and his prestige, his stage, what's the word? His reputation as well.
Yeah, his legacy, dude. Just one title after the next. He is now, if I'm not mistaken, the second highest decorated player of all time. It's not Lin anymore. Lin has been the silver medalist in earnings forever, but not anymore. Now, $522,000 for Infi. Lin stands at $515,000. This is Warcraft history right here. Not two Koreans reigning on top of the earnings list. Infi getting closer to Moon as well.
Another trophy for him. He's gonna need to expand his trophy case at home soon. And by the way, this is the perfect trophy for him.
Yes.
It represents all 4 races. And
Absolutely.
if anybody deserves to win this trophy, it is absolutely him.
Yeah, I agree. At one point, he decided playing one race is not enough. And as he said in the interview, Blizzard can change the balance in the way they want. I just own all 4 races. And no one has ever done this.
Yeah.
We seriously have to discuss the GOAT.
What a baller, dude. Can't be held back by the current whims of the meta because he can just play all the races really well.
Yeah.
And showing towards the end of the series and towards the end of the year for him that even his weakest race is really strong. His orc there looked super good. Looked like a hard counter win almost. That last hit. Did it come down to the last hit? Maybe it did. Infi enjoying his moment on stage in the limelight, where he's been a lot recently. Another trophy for him. This guy is just showing us where Warcraft can go.
Yeah.
Where skill can lead.
Yeah. If this man wins Katowice, he's seriously contesting Moon for all-time earnings. That's the story of 2021, I feel. Will Infi just become the greatest Warcraft player of all time? We can discuss this, but he's making case after case after case. For himself, of course. 1-0 was not the challenger we needed today. But how do you even get ready for this monster? We have a dominating player in every region now, I feel. Happy, Hitman, Infi.
Yeah, the Asians normally always are trading wins back and forth, but Infi, his era of dominance, really, really impressive. WCG may not have been his, but almost everything else seems to be going his way. DreamHack and ESL Pro Tour, that's where he still has to prove himself. That's going to be at Katowice. That's going to be at the beginning of March, where Infi is going to be going to, where I can't wait to see him compete against all the best players in the world.
Oh man, this is, yeah, it's gonna be the best tournament probably all year. ESL Pro Tour Katowice. That was a very early morning breakfast stream. Regardless of the time or the graphics, we had 2,500 people watching this. You guys keep on tuning in, and that is absolutely fantastic, even though we had content throughout the night as well. We have more content coming to your home screens tomorrow, as it's Monday, and Monday is now ESL Open Cup, and that is episode number 50, and we're on lockdown, guys, again, especially like here in Europe at least, so go play. It starts at 6 p.m. We want this field of participants to be big to celebrate what ESL and DreamHack are doing for Warcraft 3. We will be there. Hopefully you guys will be there as well. And then on Thursday, of course, it's time for Theorycraft again here on Back to Warcraft with Carson. This week, he's going to cast viewer replays. So if you guys want to have your replay casted and analyzed, then send it over. Carson at backtowarcraft.com. Also, we have a Theorycraft channel on our Discord. All the games of this weekend and also the first episode of Theorycraft will be up on YouTube. So go check that out. And if you want to stay up to date with everything regarding Back to Warcraft and Warcraft 3 in general, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, and we have a Discord. All the links in the About section as well as the schedule. And if you really like what we do, you can sub here on this channel. You can throw us a little donation, as plenty of people did today. Buy our merchandise, use our Amazon ref link. Put some fuel into the Back to Warcraft engine if you can afford it. That would be absolutely wonderful. Just as this Sunday morning was, as always, with you, Remo. Pleasure to be next to you, casting the best games on the planet. Wish you a wonderful rest of the Sunday, man.
Yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope your beginning of 2021 is as amazing as Infi's end of 2020. Guys, take care, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Bye-bye.